All right, we are live here at the Charleston Road Show. What a day, what a weekend. We got Reggie back out. Reggie, say hey.
Hello.
He's in there digging in the ice. Reggie, if y'all don't remember Reggie came out in July, did a fantastic job, and he's back here again today. So, Reggie, what are we cooking today?
So we have a orange whiskey brine snapper.
Okay.
That's going to be seared off with a Carolina gold rice risotto.
Nice. Now, where is this snapper coming from?
Just off the coast. It's very local. The fish market I got it from is called Cutico.
Okay.
One of my favorites. And today I will show you how to fillet a non-scaled fish. Because sometimes,
Non-scaled, you mean?
They have scales on it, yeah.
You got scales hanging off this guy.
Reason why is two reasons. When you don't feel like getting scales all over the place, and the skin is automatically going to come off. This fish is about, I believe, 3.6 pounds. I usually don't keep the skin on for a fish this size, just because the skin is a little bit more tougher. But what I would do is if I had scaled it, I take the skin off and I will crisp up on this alone, and that'd be like a little garnish on top. But today we're just gonna not deal with that.
Are any of them getting in to do this? Reggie's like,
yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. So,
how about you? You want to step in there? I know.
Right.
I've been throwing them at the mercy of the chef. I'm making a joke on it. Oh, you'll eat it? Well, then, yes.
Happy to be part of the taste.
All right. So I have a few different knives here. I'm a little extra when I break down my proteins in general. This knife right here is particularly for skinning it. This is just going to be able to get in the crease, and then this knife is where I can actually come through the meat. Finish taking the fillet off. All right.
So really break that down slowly. How are you doing this?
So I wanted to
talking about that.
Oh, with this?
Because there's a lot of people. I work at I sell for a company that has a food processing company, right? And there's always like arguments on the proper way.
So, yeah, there's multiple different proper ways. Funny enough, I had a diamond steel. This helps like straighten out your blade again. Someone stole it, so I'm back to this little old thing. But I was taught to do it like this. You want to have a nice little angle. I don't remember the angles off the top of my head now, but it's a slight angle, and you want to come down. And that's the safest, proper way, because if something slips, it's just going to hit the board. Usually I have an apron on, it's going to hit the apron, so it's not really going to cut through an apron, your shirt, then your undershirt.
Okay.
Then I also was taught to do it away, but I don't like having to have my hand tilted like that. It just feel weird. So when I first started doing this way, I was doing it really slow. And then now I just got used to just turning it. My hand is naturally turning the degree that I want it to. But yeah, other than that, that's straightforward. And that's just honing. This is not sharpening. Right. People think this is sharpening. It's not. It's just honing. Sharpening is when it's two ways people sharpen. I prefer to do it by stone, but some people have like this little thing that you can pull it through.
Right.
You know, it works when you just need a quick sharpen. But if I'm sharpening a knife like this, I prefer to use a stone, a little bit more precise, and I can control the degree. Alrighty. And as you can see, there have been plenty of times that I have slipped and my knife had hit the curb. So it's a good thing to have this. Also a good thing to not be fast and actually take your time. Alrighty. So Also, is going to hone my scissors. I got this from working at a fish market, Cutico. We use scissors a lot when breaking down the fish. It's very important when doing it with the scales, where you can just cut through the scales and then go from there. But all it is, same thing. I kind of just do it on one side because obviously you only need one side. Find where that edge is at. All right. I just lap it down. So as you can see, little black marks come off, and that's just from the metal. All right.
Y'all come in. Y'all come hang out.
So I prep my fish more than what some other shows would do. My first thing is I always cut the fins off the bottom. This would be easier to off if this is just like cut. Boom. Alrighty. So I just cut this off at the bottom, and I should get this. Use my bigger knife. That's it. Reason why I cut it off, just because it's a less chance of stabbing myself. It's some of these fins are sharp, like right here. As you can see, it's like just a dang old needle, pretty much. And I have cut myself plenty of times. So just go ahead, twist this off, come, cut, boom. All right. Then after that, I come to the back. Do the same thing. Yeah, all right. Yep, do the same thing pretty much. If my knife decides to cut, it'll work with me today.
I don't have one for you.
Hmm?
I don't have a pair of scissors.
No, it's fine. It's about time for me to replace these anyways. Yeah, it's about time for me to replace these. I had these scissors for the past 3 years. All right, so I really want to cut the fins off. I usually do it to help put more safety, and then when I'm doing a lot of fish, I can just go through it without having to worry. But since it's one, it's fine. So first things first is I always take the head off. I can keep the scales on just because I'm coming this way. It's actually a technique that you actually scale the fish on like this. I'm not that good yet. Come right under the scales. Got that. So now, this knife is small. That is a little bit more bulkier. I can now work this knife around, as you can see. Come all the way up to the top. Like I said, there's a lot of meat still at the head. Come to the other side. Come directly under the scale. And then boom. Like that. And just work my way down. And all I do is just, you want to twist the head. That's it pretty much. I twist the head off. Comes off pretty easily. Take my little bigger knife. Come through. Boom. So now what I can do is clean clean the innards out. If the jaws if it was looking a little bit better, I would use the jaws. But like for this particular one, I can use the jaw and do a separate dish for it. Then I can also do a fish head stew, separate dish for the whole thing. My big thing is I don't like waste. As everyone knows, I'm a former table chef. Um, so I only work with local products. Um, and I try to use every single little thing. I don't throw anything away. But if you don't want to do any of those dishes, add into your stock. You'd be good to go from there. So now what I do is I just cut the cavity, open some more. What I do is I start at the end. I start from one side, work my way this way, and then I go to the other side and work my way in. So all I got to do is lift up and it's come down. So it's easily come straight off. So boom, I just follow that tail on down. Sometimes I turn my knife inwards just to get in. Boom. We grab a towel real quick. I always have a towel just so you can clean your knife off each time. And that's all. I make my first, and this is my entry cut. This is not solid cut just yet. Now I'm gonna show you with the scissors if it cuts through. Yeah, so as you can see with the scissors, I use it to just cut a little bit in. My scissors is hitting yeah, cool. Let's cut a little bit in. They do have fish scissors. Just can't find mine. So I just use my all-purpose one. And I come all the way down. Sometimes I will start it like that. And then I'll finish off with my knife. And just come all the way down. Clean. Now, I prep the other side just the same way. Side inwards. Come down. So this is just my pre-cuts. Boom. I just slide my way all the way down. Just make sure you be safe. You don't have to do it fast. Take your time. Boom. All right. So now, since I already have my entry cuts, right there, right here, and then right here, now I can start with, this is pretty much called a petty knife. It's can be used for doing smaller chops, and then I prefer to use it for filleting or working with any protein in general because it's flexible enough to bend, but also it can go around a bone too nicely. It won't be too flexible neither. So I just glide my knife. I always stay close to the carcass. So as you can see, I'm just, like, my big thing is, as I'm moving through, I can see the body of the spine moving too. I just keep on going. There is a point, I'm sure you will point when I get there, where like the center of the fish carcass is it's kind of like not attached, so it will lift up. So your knife can actually slip under the bone and you can actually start filleting the other side beforehand. So all you gotta do is come down. And another thing for me is I don't like pulling the fish because it rips at that lateral line that's coming down. So all I do is just lay my hand down and I just use the weight of my other hand on the other side to lift that side up. I don't know if you can get in right here. Let me clear this off. All right, so as you can see right here, you can see where that bone I was talking about, that lifts up, you can actually cut through that and you can start doing the other side. So you just gotta make sure you get through that first layer, then after that you're good to go. So now I'm going all the way to the center. And once I can feel that spine right there, I stop and pretty much do the exact same thing on this side. Now, as you see, I'm fine doing the upward over method, but I'm not a big fan of it just because sometimes you waste so much fish trying to do the upper over method. So you have like a decent amount of portion of the fish that's still on the bone. So come down. As you can see, I actually did not cut to that side. Perfect. Boom. Perfect example. So as you can see, I actually miss the top bone and I'm already starting to fillet the other side. So if that happens, all you got to do is come down and boom. So now you readjust and stay on that line. Boom. Come down. That's all you got to do. So now I can feel where I'm at, and I do have to come up just a little bit more. Lift. Boom. So now all I got to do is just come down the spine. Now, as you can see, it lifts all pretty easily. So now the only thing that's holding it attached is the rib bones. And what I do, I take my scissors and I actually just cut the rib bones. The one at the top tends to be the hardest. But yep, boom, cut the rib bones. And I come up and I just finish off the fillet right there. Everything, everything just come off nicely. I'm actually still attached to a bone. So when you feel a bone, don't try to force your way through, because what's going to happen is it's going to start pulling the meat, and that's when it start ripping. That's why sometimes if you go to the fish market, you see like the flakes of the fish coming off. It's because they just went through and just cut through. Personally, me, I don't want no flakes. I want to keep really like nice and clean and like organized. Personally.
Okay, I'll see you.
And all I got to do is come, fix myself, and then boom. So, as you can see at the top, that's when you see a lot of tugging. And this is what I was talking about with not trying to force your way through, because you get this, and I don't like this. I prefer a nice, clean fish, all attached together. Also, it depends on the freshness of your fish. If your fish is really fresh, it's not gonna flake super easy or break super easy. It should still be nice and intact. And as you also can smell, it's not fishy over here, just because even though this is still has the organs and some of the blood inside, it's not fishy at all because how fresh the fish is. That's one thing Kudako really big on, freshness. If it has any type of smell other than ocean smell, they don't take it in. But also you can look at the eyes. I took the gills out, but you can look at the eyes, super clear. That's what you really want from a fish. Also by touch, the skin should, I don't know if you can notice this, but the skin should bounce back. As you can see, that is bouncing back.
Okay. He's looking for the recipe?
He's like, this is a lot. I don't think he does quite this much trouble.
Oh no. But yeah, and as you can see, it bounced back. So the reason why I fillet my fish this way is because it's a Japanese technique. So I can take this fish and now transitioning it into doing no sashimi or sushi. Because now all I got to do is clean it up, take the scales off. I give a little rinse of some spring water, and then I can start straight to cut. And it's already perfect. I don't have to adjust or take any excess things off. And as you can see, it's not too much meat on there, just a little bit. Other than that, we can go ahead and get through. So I may not talk for a bit. I'm gonna just try to cut through all of this. All right, cool. So with the brine, I kind of just let this whole fish sit directly in the brine. And that's pretty much that's it. Straightforward, nothing else. A little bit of whiskey, orange zest, water, salt. That's it. I just went from there. Kind of speeding through this part real quick for you. All right. Come down. Boom. All right, cool. They come. Now, if I was out on the boat, I most definitely probably wouldn't have done all this. I would just go ahead, use my scissors, cut through, and then do the process after this. I wouldn't go through and having to cut the heads, cut the fins off. I just go straight through it. This is just the extra restaurant way to ensure that the fish is always good quality, no matter what. It's a bone that I'm feeling. It's right here. All right, so I did this side already. Yes, yes, yes. Lift up. Boom. Come over. Come down. Boom. All right, so cut now. Boom. So as you can see, both different fillets actually kind of went up a little bit, went too deep, came up too far, and I did a little bit of cut of the meat off. Yeah. Other than that, that's straightforward. This right here, I rinse off. As you can see, I could have done a better job on the other side. You can see that meat. That's right there. I try my best to not to leave this anything like this on. But other than that, a few ways you can do. After cleaning it up, I can chop it and fry it. That'd be a quick little snack. You can peel the meat off. Or I would just straight up clean it up and just put it in the stock. Break it in half. Like Chef Murray was talking about, it's marrow, like the fish marrows inside there. It's really clear. I have a smaller knife. It's really clear. But yeah, that right there, like you said, is good flavor. But other than that, that's straightforward with filleting, breaking a fish down. I'm about to go ahead and do a quick wipe so I can go ahead and skin it. Alrighty.
You come hang out, bud.
All right. So I go ahead, clean our board off a bit. Yep, that's pretty much it. After that, clean it up some, take it, turn it, and now I'm gonna go ahead and start taking the belly meat off. You can also do the same, clean it up, and serve it as a appetizer on its own, or you can clean it up, chop it up, fry it. That's one of my favorite parts of the fish is the belly. So all I do is come, break through the bones. So as I come down, I actually start to curve my knife. As you can see, I just start to curve it. And that will take out the main bones. It has smaller bones going right up. Actually, yeah, smaller bones right here going right up. Now just come, cut, boom, done. Save that too. Do the same thing. Now I'm about to jump on to the other side. Come down. Break some of the bones. And you can push your knife through with this one, just because the bone's a little bit more fragile. Just come down. Make sure I'm clear it out. And then boom. After that, bend it, cut. Now, I don't have any. I do have tweezers on me. I may tweeze it in a few. But after that, now you have usually what you will see inside. I'm more of a gourmet fish shop. I don't like doing the V cut in fish. Not my favorite thing, just because it's kind of weird when you're trying to cook it. You just have a big old V inside. So I try to take out all the pin bones, and then go from there. Do I have any? Okay, cool. So now, when you're filleting, take the skin off. It's going to be a little bit more easier to take the skin off, just because it has scales on it, so it has a little bit of guard that can help guide you just a bit. So what I do is I come and do it like this, and then I bend forward. The reason why I do it like that is because I can hold on to something. And my knife is just not completely angled directly into the skin, but slightly. And I just come, adjust myself. Reason why I just choose my chef knife instead of a fillet knife, just because it's a little bit more thinner. I mean, it's a little bit more wider. So, and since it's a bigger fish, you can hold up. But as you can see, straight, pretty much most of the meat off. I try my best to lift just a little bit up to take some of the red out, but yeah. Other than that, just straightforward. You can clean it up, throw it in your stock, strain it off. Now, same thing on the other side. The reason why I love keeping the little flap on, sometimes the chef will make a cut ahead of time, is because all that tendon is at the back, and the tendon doesn't like pull off like flesh. It kind of holds on to the skin. When I come, I think I made a mistake. I think I would love if I did make a mistake, and I can show you how to fix it. Did I? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. That's good. Same thing as you can see, straightforward. Boom. Same thing, toss it, it's how you stock, rinse it off, stop. Now, do a quick cleanup real quick. All right, so we're going to portion fish out, and then I'm going to get started on cooking that fish, which is really easy to do. But yeah. Boom. All right. I can take pin bones out a little bit. Where's that? Usually you want to have tweezers just because they can attach better on. Actually, don't feel. It's that one right there. Make sure I take that out. So, like I say, I love to portion my fish in a sense of the person doesn't get any of the cut at all. So that's one portion. So I got about 6 portions out of one fish, and that's about a 3-pound fish. Go. And then I come back with my tweezers in a few to clean that up. So that's our fish portions. Snapper. Mm-hmm. So all I do is move all of my dirty stuff. Slide this down. Do a quick wipe. Does this still plug in? Yes. So this is one of my favorite pot pans. Reason is because it has a slope just like a regular pot, but also wide enough just like a skillet, so I can still sear stuff in down, and then I can still create like a nice little sauce right inside without anything spilling out. But this is going to be for the risotto, and I'm going to be using the Castaway. Yeah, cool. Okay, perfect. That's getting hot. And now I'm just grabbing my oils. This is just regular grapeseed oil. I don't like having a big bottle when I don't need it, so I just use one of my empty extra virgin olive oil. Repurpose. Hit a little bit of oil in both pans. So when you're doing a risotto is an Italian dish. Usually it's made with this thing called arborio rice. Arborio rice is small grain rice. It has a higher starch content, and you do not wash rice at all. But you kind of go don't do dish the rice around a decent amount. I always do one wash on the Carolina Golden rice just to get some of the starch off. And since I'm not adding any cheese, and just pretty much chicken stock, wine, butter, I want to just help not let it get like cakey. Too much starch is going to make it very cakey. And then I'm finishing off with some smoked olive oil. So I have the rice. Is this thing also called rice middlings, which is also breaking grains of Carolina Gold rice. And as you can see, some of these grains are broken, but they're actually pretty small enough for arborio rice. about the same size. Just a little bit more uniform with the boiled rice though. So now, I just want to show everyone my turkey butter. Alrighty, so I love being organized. One of my favorite things. So I did some of my prep. Everything is on here. I just love being organized. Helps me a lot. Keep my mind calm. I think about 10,000 other stuff a lot. All I do is just do a quick cut at the top, obviously. Just hoping it. So I did competitions when I was in high school, and it's one that was called Pro Start. We had to wrap, my apologies, a whole like restaurant sheet pan rack in plastic just for we can be organized and nothing will fall out. That was pretty wasteful, not gonna lie. All right, so I have some curly parsley. I was gonna go do Italian parsley, but a nice classic garnish of seafood is done with a lemon wedge and curly parsley instead. And wrapped inside here is dill. I wrap all my herbs and stuff, and like some paper towel just to be able to take on that extra moisture. Because once you let your herbs and stuff sit in the moisture, it gets all slimy and stuff, and I don't like that. I want this to blow away. So I have some celery greens. It's pretty good. A lot of people throw them away. I use them as garnish. They're not the best, but they'll do. Lemons, shaved Brussels sprouts, onions, one serrano pepper, extra Brussels sprouts, bum bum bum, and then some. Don't mind how big this container is compared to the amount it is. I couldn't find any deli cups. So these are blanch asparagus. So I did some salted water, some spices. Usually it's just salted water. Come that to a boil, put it in and shock it in ice. Just because, as you can see how bright the color is, that shockiness help keep that color. Because as you can cook it more, it turns darker. And that just cellular walls just break it down more. And then usually I usually make chicken stock from scratch, but I was like, why not show everyone my go-to chicken stock when I need chicken stock on the fly? And this is it. Kitchen basic, pretty solid. Always get unsalted. Everything I use is unsalted. Except for that, I just wanted to show you the turkey butter. Usually, I use everything unsalted, particularly because I need to control how much salt I add into my dish. Sometimes some people just dose salt in and forget. Oh, well, my cooking wine has salt in it. My chicken stock has salt in it. It's just easier to dismiss all of that process. And then I have an orange to zest. And the fish is actually going to get some squeeze of orange juice. So I'll move some of these around just for everyone to be able to see. Boom, boom. All right. Right here. Perfect. All right. So all I do is pretty much break it. This one has more scales. I just pull it apart, really. Garlic is from a local farm here. I got it up the farmer's market. And I just go from there. I use about 4. Yeah, that's perfect. All right. Checking this. So when I'm cooking, I always have this is on the back burner, so I know in my mind, okay, hey, I need to check it constantly. So what I do is I just peel it straight. Now there's a few ways how you can do it. Put it in a little like another metal, 2 metal bowls, shake it up. That can also help it come off. I also just straight up peel it. I don't like the wind. Sorry about that. So I just straight up peel it. If you have like a paring knife, use that. Just because it can work a little bit more better in your hand. But I've been working in an Italian restaurant, and sometimes I don't have time to switch back and forth between my chef knife and my paring knife, and that's got good just peeling it with a bigger knife. So as you can see, it's getting some color on it. I just want just a little bit more, and then we can start getting to toasting the rice. Shake that out. That's sitting there. All right, cool. So, yeah, and that's pretty much it. Straight with the garlic, peeling it. I say the next best thing if you don't feel like this whole process of peeling it, pre-peeled garlic. It's all right, as long as since it's not the cellular property is not like breaking down, it still has that garlic flavor. But also think about once something sit for a longer period of time that's not attached to the root system, it's gonna lose flavor. Boom. All right. So obviously, since the winter was helping me out with cleaning, clean. I always try my best to clean as I go to the next task. Did I grab the... Did I bring it back here? No, I didn't. 1 second. All right. So I just have my little container of this random stuff. So now,
is that the second drawer? Where all the random stuff goes?
Yep. Sometimes I second guess myself with how many things I need to cook.
Yeah.
I just bring a lot of extra. Now, this is the color that I want. As you can see, not all of it has caramelized, but some has. And that's what I want. I don't want too much caramelization, but I don't want too little. So now, I'll be honest with you, nothing is going by a certain measurement. I'm kind of just going about eyeballing it just because I have cooked risotto a lot, so I know this dish. If you can see, I think I lost it. So sometimes you have to look through your rice, let it dry some. I plop it right back inside just now. Sometimes it's a stone that beats inside the rice. They try their best to get it out as much as possible during the manufacturing process, but it happens. A little bit more oil.
Did you say stone?
Yeah.
And then it happens.
It happens. It's just a little tiny one. That's how you know it's actually fresh.
They have a cousin who's a dentist. Is that what it is?
Like occasionally you may get it. Sometimes you don't. But like I say, this is an eyeball, not a certain amount. That's good enough. Now, all I do is get all that nice and toasted. Now, I watch this a little bit more because you do not want the rice to burn. Just like when you cooking, when you're doing spices. When you want to toast your spice for a dish, which I recommend anyone that's making a dish with spice, get your whole spice, toast it, let it cool a bit, grind it, and then add it to your dish. So you use a smaller amount. And to save a little bit more money because it's whole. So I let that go. I'm gonna add a little bit more rice. Boom. All right. So that's gonna sit right there for a second. About to show you how to do the garlic. Say chicken stock. I prefer to always let your chicken stock come to room temperature. This one's a little bit cold, but I'm not too worried since it's outside. It's heating up a little bit, well, coming to temp a little bit more faster. You can use directly really hot chicken stock too. That's what making a classic risotto that was recommended to do just because the heat doesn't never go down. So while we're waiting on this to toast some, it's not there yet. Because once you know you get a nice toast on your rice, it has a nutty smell to it. All right, so what I'm going to do here now is, yeah. Let's not forget, feel right here. So when I'm using my tweezers to take out any bones, I will push my finger down like this. I won't pull the meat, but I'm forcing the bone out. So it doesn't, as you can see, it tears up the meat just a little bit, but not too much. As some people just yank it out and the meat to be all tear up. But yeah, pretty much that's your bone. I always tell people, never think there's no bone in your fish. Don't think that at all, just because sometimes people think, oh, the shit. I don't like promote my fish as boneless. Sometimes stuff happens. Sometimes a bone may break and I don't know what's inside. So I always tell people, always be cautious when eating fish. Just because you may find one, don't be shocked. I have seen customers be shocked and be like, oh no, it's a bone in my fish. I'm going to die. I'm sitting here like, it's fish. I kind of expected it. All right, so also since I skinned it, the bones is going to come out a little bit more better. And since your fish is fresh, the bones are going to stick a little bit more better to the flesh. That's also another way to tell if your fish is fresh. If the bone comes out easy, sometimes some bones out of fish comes out easy, but generally speaking, they should have a nice little tug to it. If it hasn't tugged to it, it's really good. And as you see, you still don't smell fish. That's my favorite part. All right, so check down some more. Boom, boom, boom. Right here. All right. Yes. All right. So, yes, a little bit of char. Now, I'm going to hit it with some chicken stock. But not too much water inside of the dish. I mean, inside your pan. You can do this also in a regular pan too, but just enough, you know. And what's going to happen is I'm going to slowly cook the rice. I'm going to slowly add liquid to it, and that's going to help. So let that go. You want to add your liquid whenever when you bring it across, it creates a pathway. So as you can see, when I do it, everything come back. So when I add a liquid in, the path shouldn't come back together. It should actually stay. All right, so that's going to do its thing. Let me show you the garlic. All you gotta do is take a quick microplane. And all you gotta do is just go ahead and grate it. Always watch your fingers. I do this amount and I just toss that into my stock at the end. Sometimes you can really cut your fingers. Boom. So now it's to the paste. So you get like a chunk of garlic in your mouth. It's gonna dissolve away. Boom, good to go. Let's take the rest of that off. Boom. All right, so you stir that in. Make sure that get in nicely. Oh, so as you can see, that pathway is created. So now I'm about to add some more stock to it, and that's going to take it along. You can mix two stocks. You can do a chicken stock and a chicken stock and a fish stock. When I'm doing a dish like this, I always add shrimp to my fish stock just because it gives that little bit of sweetness of that crustacean. But you can also make this vegan by adding a veg stock and mushroom stock. And you can just cook it straight with water.
Now that's only this. You can't make that vegan.
Oh, no, not at all. I mean,
Okay.
Hey, they figure out ways. Lion's mane, if anyone really wants to say I want a vegan fish, I mean, it's a mushroom, but I keep my peace on that. So now, since I already did the second wave of liquid, I go ahead and I add bay leaves into it. So now that's going to cook with everything. That's going to take the flavor. When you're doing a traditional risotto, none of that is added in. It's just your stocks and your water, your wine, and your cheese. But I love taking the technique of that dish and applying it to different things. So that's going to take it. Make sure I didn't mix in my garlic that well. So if you notice that you have a clump of minced garlic, make sure you break that up so that can get inside. But now that's going to go and do its thing. All this gets added in closer to the end. But back to the fish. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So now what I do is, kind of don't like this. I don't like when I mess up right here. So that's going to bother me just a little bit. But I also have learned that to always make everything perfect. When I first started cooking, that was always my mind. It has to be perfect. But
I'm gonna
now,
venture and guess, Reggie, that if you didn't say that, none of us would.
yep, you would just keep on pushing you wouldn't notice that at all. But yeah, like those are little things that I'm looking at prep, and that's why you see it takes me I can fillet a fish pretty fast and just do with no ease. But me taking those extra steps, pretty much reassure myself that it's going to be perfect, despite the customer may not see it see that whole preparation at all. But to me, I know, okay, it's going to be good. It's almost there. Add some more chicken stock in a second. The serrano pepper is going to get finished off with the fish, so that's why I haven't cut it yet. Also, I'm touching stuff. I don't want to cut that to the last thing. So, yep, boom. So now, put the fish. Cool. Boom, boom, boom. I just take some of my grapeseed oil. Is it coming off? Okay, cool. Usually I have all my stuff inside a squeeze bottle. I usually have like a bigger one of these, and that's how I do my little thing. But it's just a restaurant thing. You can control the flow better, but with this I can't. So I just put my thumb in front of it, leave it up some. I can have that shaking motion help push out the oil. Let's actually turn this down some since I'm about to be focusing on that.
I want to go on that other side. It smells really good when that's blowing right in your face. Oh yeah, but I was getting a face full of it. I'm hungry.
So this is cooking wine. You can get it out the store. I started with this when I first started cooking because I couldn't buy wine, real wine, and my mom didn't really want me to get wine in the house. So I started cooking with this. Now you can use this. All the alcohol is actually cooked out. So you're just getting the flavor of the masala. That's it. No, you got white wine. You're just getting the flavor of the white wine. And that's pretty much straightforward with this. This has salt in it. As you can see, I have not added salt to nothing yet. Just because I know what has salt and what doesn't. And I add some of this. And I do these in stages. You can get regular wine. And you can do that. You just don't want to add too much of it just because the flavor, the wine intensity is a little bit more. Also, you have to cook out the wine. So you want to add it in a little bit more smaller portions just to cook out faster. But yep. Have any little itty bits pieces on the side of the pot, bring it down, obviously. That's going to keep on going. And like when you cook a risotto, the myth that I was taught on is you have to keep on moving it will burn. The only reason why they tell you to keep on moving it in the restaurant because the flame was on high and they don't want it to actually burn. But as you can see, I just been letting it go by itself, and that's pretty much what you want. You don't want to mess with the rice too much, bring out more starch, but you also don't want to forget about it and it starts to like stick to the pan and starch. So it kind of went away pretty fast. So now it's getting there, not yet. So I was telling them earlier that when you're cooking a risotto or when you're cooking this type of technique with the dish, your next stage will be added on once the liquid doesn't. Yep, come back. So I'm gonna let this go. It's almost there. By the time I season this fish, season the fish, it'll be good to go. So I'm using adobo, particularly for this dish. I love adobo. And yes, I do create my own seasonings, things like that. When I do.
Can you pick it up and set it back down?
Huh?
I'm messing with you.
Oh.
I say I missed the action. Can you pick it up and set it back down?
So I do make my own seasonings, but sometimes when I'm like doing an event or something out of town, that's a lot to bring. Plus, I have a limited supply because I'm getting the peppers, I'm writing it myself, I'm toasting the herbs, dehydrated herbs, and doing all that stuff. So I have a limited supply. So I always bring certain seasonings that has almost everything that I want, just so I can add a little quick touch to it. Also, this is a little bit more easier to get than me having to tell you the full recipe of like 20 different spices or herbs. So yeah, using adobo. I prefer the adobo without pepper. Um, some people do it pepper. So it's two ways how they do this. Usually, obviously, it's usually a top on top, but I don't really like it because it's restrict my mobility when seasoning. Let's check this. Like I say, this is ready to go. Let's add more chicken stock. Boom. And like I said, as you see, I'm not adding a lot. Boom. All right. So what I do is I take some of that, put it in a separate container, separate thing. I don't put a lot just because I have, sometimes if I'm moving quickly, I may touch this with the hand. I have the oil and the fish on, so they contaminate it. So if I do that, I just have to throw the whole thing away. So why doing that with the whole bottle? It helps a little bit more control. So now I season it. Since the wind is blowing this way, I have to come over some before they can actually attach. But usually you want to season from above to cover the whole thing. Turn it around. Now this will get salt, just because the seasoning does have salt inside of it. So like I said, be courteous of what you have salt and what doesn't. And that's all I do right here. Now I want to have a little bit of spice to it. So now I will go into using, let's try that right here. I'm going to mop up all the seasoning that's on this cutting board too, by the way. I don't waste that. Another quick thing that I love using is Tony's. Tony's Slap Your Mama. The reason why, it has all the spices that I need quickly. It does have salt in it, so always think this has salt. Let's be courteous. That's almost there. It's not quite done. Let's add some more chicken stock. Get her a little shake, and let it keep going. Like I say, it has all the spices that I needed. The paprika, the cayenne, things like that. So now I don't feel like taking the top off of this. So all I do a little light. I just do a quick shake back and forth. Just to coat. Snapper. So boom. And that's it. That's all I add onto it. And I'm gonna mop up all this seasoning too, by the way. So now, not much salt is going to be added to the fish because both my seasonings I just add have salt in it. Well, it is good if you can find those seasonings without salt. That'd be perfect also. But yeah. My two things, I consider salt as a flavor enhancer, not as a seasoning. Reason why I consider that as a flavor enhancer, because all it is enhances the flavor. It doesn't really add nothing to it, really. To me, I compare it to vinegar has a little bit of flavor to it, but also I use vinegar as a flavor enhancer. When you look at Japanese cooking, they don't really have salt. The salt is soy sauce, but generally speaking, they have a pickle veg. The pickle veg, they eat that pickle veg with whatever it is, that right there enhances the flavor of stuff. So to me, salt is not a seasoning. Seasonings are maybe herbs or spices. Pretty much that straightforward, that's it. or anything dehydrated that you turn into a powder. But other than that, that's going. Now, as you can see, the rice is not done yet. It still needs to go. But you see how many times I've been moving around and stirring it? It has all that starch hasn't come out, and it hasn't get like milky. It's still like the color of the chicken stock. It's just because with giving that toast, like I said, lock in some of that starch. Also, it doesn't help create you don't break down the rice wall. So when you took like regular rice and you keep on stirring it, you're actually breaking that process down. But since I fried it some, it's built a little shield around it, so it's helped. Now, if I just keep on shaking it forever, then yes, it will start to do that. But yeah, that's going to keep on going. Let's get ready with this fish.
You going in the pan?
Huh?
Is it going in the pan?
Yep, it's about to go in the pan.
I'm on the wrong side then, huh?
I cut this up back. The reason why I cut it down is I didn't want smoke to start. Because once you start seeing a lot of smoke coming from your pan, your oil starts to get a little bit bitter. So, and burnt too. But yeah, it starts to get a little bit bitter, and I don't like that. That's why you ever at a restaurant, you'd be like, you just sear it off. One, it'd be greasy. Two, it has like a slight bitterness to it. That means that person, that line cook, had the pan too high. Instead of just restarting over the pan, he just threw it in and let it go. So now I'm adding in my blanched asparagus. All I could is, like I said, cut it at a bias. Make a little fancy by cutting it at a bias. Hot boiling water. Let that sit for about a minute, depending on the thickness of your asparagus, and then shock it in water. That's it. So I add some of this in. And that's going to finish cooking because the asparagus is actually still raw. So that's going to go. That's going to do its thing. Boom. So now let's get started with the fish. Grab my gloves.
So this is going to be your first experience cooking on that castaway pan, huh?
Yes. I don't know if anyone has used, I love cast iron because it's solid together. I have this little fish cast iron ones, and they're like bolted. But as you can see with this pan, it's straight one metal. First time cooking with it, but already from seeing other people cook with it, I love it. Just from the shape, and it's heavy, and it's in your hand. It's not something you can just boom.
And you literally grabbed it. This is hot here, right?
Oh yeah. So, despite it being one metal, the only thing is hot is the pot. Now you slide it in the oven, the whole thing is going to get hot, obviously. But it's the heat conduction on this is so good that it's not let the heat get past a certain point, but still make this really hot. So that's gonna go. I want to see just a tiny bit of smoke.
I've always checked my utensils, with my hand a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's ready.
Yeah, I do the same thing when I'm just going to work through it. All right. So now let's just shave Brussels sprouts, but I get added in last, particularly because I want the freshness of the Brussels sprouts, and then everything gets seasoned. Then go from there. Yep, yeah. It's gonna go get tossed right inside there with the thing. It's like a spring risotto, spring Carolina gold rice risotto. Mm-hmm. All right. So we're actually gonna do what she said. I need to test it. Yeah. All right. So I get it a shake because sometimes the oil will move away where the direct heat is at. So I give it a little shake. Salt. So now I'm adding the salt to this just a little bit. So I usually use coarser salt. Coarser salt is a little bit more coarser, so it's a little bit more bigger, so you can feel the individual salts in your hand. But this right here, this is called it's not table salt, but it's pickling salt. The reason why it's called pickling salt is because it dissolves easier when you're making pickles, or you use sugar, add it into making Kool-Aid or something like that, dissolve easy. That's pretty much the reason why. But it's a little bit way more finer. So now, compare me doing a pinch of salt on, a triple pinch. I go by pinches. Triple pinch of table salt. I need to do 2 pinches. I need to cut back just because it's actually more salt in my hand than I think I really is. Like I said, don't add much because 2 seasonings already have salt. All right, so now with that, even though I know this is cold, I grab everything. I grab everything with a towel, no matter what. I have burnt myself plenty of times in restaurants with just not caring or thinking about that.
Now, where can we get this recipe at?
Later. No, but no, but
it's good. Yeah, she's asking where can she get this recipe. So it's all being on the food boat right now. We're live on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
So if you go there, you can see what we cooked now with Reggie, what we cooked all weekend. We got more chefs lined up. So the food boat.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that.
All right, so
I forget to say that sometimes. So thank you.
So, since the fish haven't had skin on, I'm not worried about it buckling up. But I always start my fish on the flesh side down, and then I finish off on the skin side. Give it a little press, make sure the whole full thing is connected. Okay. That's gonna go, do its thing. Anyone new people that came by, this is the grapeseed oil. Just added a little bit more oil to be in contact. All right, that's gonna go and do its thing. I do about 2 minutes on the flesh side, and then 2.5 minutes on the skin side. Now, if I have the skin on, I actually will start with the skin first, and that will cook for a good 3.5 minutes and finish. Yeah, it helps. I say sometimes with the skin, I hate soggy fish skin, so I let that go majority of the time, and then flip it off and finish the top off. So, as you can see, anyone have cooked or seen risotto before, it has a nice creamy texture. So the reason why this is not getting that is because, one, I'm not adding cheese to this. Sometimes I add cheese to fish dishes, but sometimes I don't. I don't want to do it this time, so it's not, but I'm adding butter. So the butter is going to give that creaminess that you want from the dish. All right, so that's almost going. I need that to stay on top. Let's go ahead and add the shaved Brussels sprouts. My big thing was when it comes to cooking for me is I grew up on heavy cooking. So it's like a lot of butter, or it's like a roux, making like a basic gravy sauce. And all that is heavy. My thing is I still want to make the dishes really good and delicious, but no, let's cut back on some of that butter. Let's cut back some of that heaviness. So when you eat, your stomach don't be hurting after you eat. Like when sometimes I do dinners, do a full, 3-4 course dinners, a person can actually eat through the whole course without being like, by the time they get to dessert, I can't even eat the dessert. as a chef, that's my responsibility to make sure I'm feeding the customers the correct way and not overstuffing them. All right, so now I'm gonna add just a little bit more liquid to it. I'm about to grab my butter and finish the butter off inside.
So people in the chat were worried your butter, though it's shaped like it's a turkey.
Yeah, I ain't made it. I saw it inside a store, and I was like, oh, a turkey butter. And it's salted butter. I may use it at home for myself, but I may never use this for a dinner just because it's salted butter. But I just like the turkey shape, so I was like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna get. I had the butter somewhere in my hand. Oh, it's under here. Not so smart sometimes. Alrighty. So, this is unsalted butter. I only use unsalted butter, like I said. Clean this up. I have another cutting board. I should go grab that real fast. Let's grab that. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so that rice is pretty much done. I'm gonna turn that down so I can fold the butter inside.
What are we looking for here?
So, actually, it's time for it to flip. As you can see at the edges, it starts to get a little bit of brown. So what I do, that's my sign is, all right, time for it to flip. Now, personally, if I had an oven, this will go slide in the oven, finish off some in the oven slowly, not over direct heat. Yep. So the side, I say between 365, 375, depending on your oven. And the reason why I want to flip it and I let it go, because I want to create a nice deep crust at the on the top. So I want to have a little bit of crunch. Since I don't have the skin, I still want to achieve some of that crunchiness. So I'll let that skin keep going. So I put it about in the middle. It's like baking cookies. So I just put it about in the middle. This is a palette knife. You can use a fish spatula to pick it up. So all I'm doing is flip it. And the reason why you don't see it's kind of discoloring on this side is because the pan is slightly off of the heat. So that side is not getting direct heat to it. 8 years now. Started at 14. Actually in restaurants at 14. Free labor for a while. Did that. I went to West Ashley High School because they have a very good culinary program there. So I did that all 4 years. Yeah, they took home ec and turned it into a culinary program. Very fantastic program. I tell you, by the time I got out, I was already offered a sous chef position at 18. So yeah, they didn't take it just because I wanted to go do some other stuff. But generally speaking, yeah, it's some people look down to like those type of programs, but you have the right teacher or right instructor, he will take you pretty far.
So I recognize that's a hot plate, but what temperature? Is that like medium high?
So particularly for this one, it has on high because these don't push out a lot of heat. But let's say if you're doing on an electric stove, I will say if you have numbers, I say about a 6. If you're doing a gas stove, medium. So I'm about to add some more liquid to it for it to create some. Actually, I need to add lemon juice too, but about 5 tablespoons of butter. This is not getting much butter to it at all, and I need some more fat. Now I'm about to actually go ahead and season.
What kind of salt do you like to use?
So I prefer kosher salt, kosher salt with the little umbrella. But this right here is, I can't remember the name of the brand with the little umbrella, but it's the same brand, but this is called pickling salt. And all it is just a finer salt. That's it.
That's Morton's with a little umbrella.
Yep, Martin's, yeah. So I add a little bit more liquid just to create some like creaminess to it. I turn it up.
You're a private chef. Are you to hire? Do you
Mhm.
go into people's homes?
Yep. Been doing that for about 2 years. I started being a private chef at 22 now. But yeah. But as you can see, no limit. Yeah, no limit. I think the most I have served inside someone's home was about 30.
Which one?
I can cut this down a little low for a second. I need this up.
Plates are hiding there.
Yeah, right here. I got one. I just need a plate to set the land of fish.
Yeah.
Slide this under. That right there. All right. So now, where did I put this at? Oh, right here. So now, as you can see, I don't always cook my fish. Okay. I don't always cook my fish completely through. I actually will go ahead, take it out, and let it rest. That's why when you get like very moist chicken inside the restaurant, there's some moist fish inside the restaurant, it's because they let it rest. If your fish is dry, that means they just cooked the pepper.
Do you work at a restaurant right now also?
I mean, I do like subcontracts that when I'm like slow on my business, private chef stuff, I will still go work at just different restaurants. One, because I don't want to be committed to one place, which is why I started my own business. Because it only takes me 6 months to learn everything inside a kitchen. 6 months to the point that I can teach. The person come in now, I can teach them how to do each station. I get bored. So once that happened, especially if the restaurant's not changing their menu, I can't. It's just.
So now, what kind of season did you put on the fish?
So with the fish is no, you're
Oh, yes, some oil, olive oil.
no, you're fine. So
Oh, Tony's.
it's Tony's
Yeah.
and adobo.
Okay.
So now these are like quick seasoning. So when like to the point that you're able to do at home. So like now you know, all right, cool.
I've got that in the lazy Susan home.
Yeah, I'm gonna go home and now I say, okay, I have Tony's. I have adobo. Boom, I already have the 2 ingredients that I need.
Yeah.
So compared to me telling you like 30 different seasonings,
Seasoning's good
meat
on
spices.
Chicken, fish,
Yep.
maybe steak.
Yeah, I have. So I would do like a pepper, black peppercorn, white peppercorn, and green peppercorn.
Yeah.
Mixed with some adobo. Yep, fresh crack with some adobo. That it's really good. Like I say, these 4 I can have quick seasonings. 2 for the person can do at home themselves, and just all right. This is actually good to go. But as you can see,
Oh, yeah.
it's creamy. So this is the texture that you really want a true risotto to be. But this right here, as you can see, I can achieve that without adding cheese to it. So, as shaking it just to get the oil around again. Like I said, always put flesh side down. And it looks like a lot of seasoning, but since I didn't add too much salt to it, I'm not too worried about it being overly salted.
Yeah, both of those are a little on the salty side, right?
Yes. Yeah, so you have to be mindful. As you can see, not a lot of salt inside here. Since I already have salt inside the fish, a person is going to take the fish and the risotto. So the fish would season the risotto at the same time, instead of having too much salt in both. And all of a sudden, it's just a flavor bomb of salt. All right, so that's going to go. This can go away. Have my herbs. This can go right here. I need this for the orange. All right. Let's take this, put this down here.
Oh, we a lot of good ones.
Clean up some. Since the fish is finishing off, I can get my space cleaned up. As you can see, I try my best to always just clean as I go. I don't like having stuff piled up. Yeah, no more salt inside there. That will season the fish. All right. That's going to finish off. I'm going to zest this orange real quick. And when you're zesting, some people will do it like this. Usually you see the people zest it like this. Since I'm also going to cut and use the orange and finish the serrano pepper off with it, I just do like this. And as you see, it's still orange. It's not white. You do not want the white part of your citrus fruit. That's where you get the bitterness from. So in a restaurant, when I'm doing a lot of zest, I just do it like this. I just come around. And that's the perfect amount I need for this particular dish. So I'll just move this to the side. And I can garnish it like regular, sprinkle it over the top. Gloves, because I don't like orange juice on my hand.
You what?
You
don't like orange juice?
No, I like orange juice. I don't like my hands being messy. So it's like you rarely will see me squeeze a lemon with my hand. It's because no. So now it's gonna get sticky. Now I need to wash it. All right, that's on low, so I'm not really worried about this cooking at the bottom. I may add a little bit more liquid to it just to thin it out just a little bit. But generally speaking, like once your fish can move, I say you can flip it, but I can move this over and let that touch the pot. All right, so that goes right there. Now so what I'm doing, juicing. I have a little juicer, citrus squeezer. Where's that? Right here. They have multiple sizes of these, but as you can see, ain't gonna work. Sometimes I would, if I need it to be a smaller size, I just cut it like this. If I'm truly don't want to squeeze it with my hand, I just cut off the excess pip. Turn that upside down real fast. Boom. So now, when I juice it, it fits. Since I did with that one, I'm gonna do this one. And it's this thing called Supreme. Super off topic about the dish because I'm not doing Supremes. It's just when you're doing like fruit salads and stuff, you do this technique, and you can do like the orange segments, stuff like that. All right, clean it up some. Let's make my life a little bit more easier. Turn it to the side. Boom. Now that's cleaned. That fish is ready to be flipped. Having even heating is the key part of getting a nice sear. But generally speaking, for what I'm using, it's doing good enough. All right. And I already did these, so they save some time. Perfect. So, 1 orange, 1 lemon. It's a easy dish, simple dish. So now, I'm gonna let the fish finish off going. Now I get the pepper. This is Serrano. This is one, yeah. I don't want too much spice. I just want a little bit of it. So I'm gonna save the other half for the next recipe. So just for you to know, all the spice is actually in the seed. So if you don't want too much of that, just take the seeds out. So I do right here. Boom. All right. So boom. No particular way to chop. Just a rough chop on it. Don't have to be a particular size neither. Uneven is perfectly fine, as you can see. That's fine. So now let fish rest. Let's get under it nicely. Sometimes it's a pain to grab, but yep, pretty much that's it. And I'm going to cut this back up and get it really going. Now, just your orange. Let's do 1 orange. That's all I need. I don't need too much of that orange flavor. In your lemon. When you need more of that juice out of it, turn it upside down. Make sure everything is out. Boom. All right. So that's going to create a nice sauce. The serrano peppers inside. All right, so now turn this back up. Add a little bit of liquid to it just to thin it out some more. So this is Marsala cooking wine. The reason why I use cooking wine, I started with cooking wine because since I started cooking, when I was younger, my mom didn't really like me didn't want me to get wine. So I started cooking with this. This has salt in it, so be courteous. If you don't want to go buy a big old bottle of wine and you just want to always have it, so you can just cook with it, I always recommend this, but always think it has salt, so be courteous. Like, I'm not even about to season the sauce just because this has salt on it. That needs to get thinned out some more. Just add a little bit of chicken stock. Boom. Alrighty. Let's grab the plate. Yeah. Yeah. Snapper. Fun fact, this is my first time doing this dish. So, I'll say one thing about me. I don't go by recipes with stuff. I love doing new dishes every time. So, same techniques. So, what my big thing is, I want to master techniques, but not recipes. Master techniques, I can do dishes like this without even worrying about flavor. So, I'm already good with understanding flavor, putting it together. But other than that, I'm not worried about anything else. All right. So, as you can see the sauce, it's not like very like thick, like if you add butter to it, but it's thick enough that I can pour over top because I need it to be light and not heavy. This is smoked olive oil right here. Yep, one of my favorite olive oils. Let's add just a little bit of Marsala wine. Just to add a little bit more liquid to it, please. Boom. Alrighty. So now let's go ahead and pick up some of that flavor at the back end. All right. So let's go ahead and plate. Cool. It's nice and hot. It's probably inside that. All right, perfect. That's done. And all I do is just smishing out just a tiny bit. And you know what? Hold back. If anyone find a bay leaf, it's just a bay leaf.
There's no oak trees out here.
Yeah. Boom. All right. As you can see, as you can see, all I add is a little bit of salt. So this is not heavily salted. The fish will season it. All right. Finish with some white pepper. So just a quick, as I'm doing this. So white pepper is like very light. My culinary instructor compared it to black pepper as a very old person. Hot-headed sometimes. White pepper is just very nice and light. Like a baby, calm sometimes. Not moving around. So, as you can see, it looks like I'm adding a lot of it, but you're not going to even taste that much of it. It's just a slight accent. So take this. This plate is hot, actually. And if anyone are wondering about the fish, yes, it's snapper, and the fish came from Cutico off of Folly Road. Very good fish spot. Only deal with fresh fish. You walk in, it doesn't smell like the seafood market, like how you think it. Yep, Cutico. And they also, they're not a restaurant, but they have like a little cafe, little cafe that you can order something from.
Do you ever deal with Welch's?
No, not yet. What's it called?
Welch's.
Okay.
How about Crosby's?
Yes, I've been dealing with Crosby's since I started cooking. Yeah, I also love Crosby's.
That's on, what road is that?
It's on Folly as well.
Yeah.
So Cutico is on Folly, and then just go a little further down. Okay.
So this right here, like I said earlier, just celery leaves. Because why throw them away? They actually have a decent flavor to it. And all you got to do, I just break them up. Here's a celery leaves. So like when you get a celery and it has like a lot of, use that. Don't even toss it out. These are not the most prettiest ones, and that's why I'm not trying to plate them whole. But they get like nice center ones. Nice center ones are so nice plated. Making a ceviche, throw that right into it. It's really nice and light. So that right here. This is just regular curly parsley. And I just pick them whole. Bum, bum, bum. I'm stepping on a spoon. Now, this wouldn't be a plate at a dinner, but let's say you was doing like a small family style, like just for 3, you and your partner, and then your kid. This will be a family style plate. So all you got to do is you can pick up a fish and take a scoop of rice, all to go. Then the deal is for the other dish. All right, so finish off with some smoked extra virgin olive oil. You used to have forks and stuff?
Yeah. You need it for right now or for them?
Yeah, for them.
Yeah, once we get done, we'll take a couple pictures of it because I need it for
Oh,
the
yeah.
and
I
stuff.
completely forgot about that. So now, put a little bit of the sauce. So as you can see, it's not like super thick, but just enough to coat the spoon. And that naturally came from the fish. I added no thickener to it. It's just just natural juices from the fish and reduction.
How long did you cook the fish?
So on one, I'd say about all together, about 4.5 minutes. A nice sear on both sides. I say if you have a electric stove, I say about between 6 and 7. If you have a gas stove, in the middle. But what you can also do is to help make sure you don't overcook the fish is get a nice sear on the flesh side and just slide it. When you get a nice little char at the bottom, little crust at the bottom, slide it right in the oven. Because the presentation side is the flesh. I'm not worried about the back, the skin side. Unless I have skin on, that goes in the oven flat too. So, but other than that, it's just straight this, and that's it. Done.
All right, Reggie, we need you.
Got you. Oh, don't fall.
Holding it.
Reggie.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. See, I have so much going on, I'd be forgetting. So,
You're gonna put over the top.
yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Thanks for catching me. I would have noticed it after I took the picture and be like, oh, look at that. But yeah, so I just did a zest. Since I had juiced the lemon, I just took some zest off of it, put it to the side.
Finish the orange, not down to the white.
Yep. Yep. Just pretty much one pass, and that's it. But yeah, that's it. Compared to all the darkness of the dish itself, of the caramelization of the fish and the risotto itself, the orange pops out, bring a little bit of brightness to it and freshness. Yeah, everything good to go now. All right. Oh, it's not sliding. Yeah.
You look at me though. Don't look at it. If it falls, it falls. Got you a bunch.
All right. Perfect.
Thank you.
When you zest, you always just zest the top one pass, or
So yeah, only.
always,
Yeah, so when you do like that, you're risking the point of hitting the white.
right.
So you don't want that at all. So I just do one pass go, and if I still see some more areas that can get zested, then I just individually do that areas. But all right, he's gonna get some forks for you to try.
Hiding in here somewhere.
So this right here, this is Carolina gold rice.
Right.
It's a
Rice or no?
it's a take on the risotto. So now how risotto is usually arboreal rice with white wine, water, chicken sauce, shallots. Yes. So with this one, I use yellow onions. You can use yellow or white onions.
Oh.
Yeah. So yellow onions is just like the skin is dark. Yeah, it's a little bit more sweeter. It's just the bigger version of a shallot, my personal. So I use that. And then I use the Carolina gold rice. Anytime I'm using Carolina gold rice for this particular technique, and the reason why I say risotto because people be wondering what it is, and
It looks like risotto.
yeah, so I always compare it to risotto, but I only prefer to use the technique of the risotto, the technique of cooking the risotto.
Take hours?
Dive in there.
No,
Make y'all sound
no. See, the reason why I take hours, people take it, cook it nice,
I'm sorry.
and slow. If you're paying
He's
attention
like, man, I've been
to
sitting
it
here
as
forever.
you're
Go ahead
doing
and just
stuff,
serve it up.
you can really get it going.
Yeah.
I'd say about 10 minutes. And that's enough servings for about 3 people. If you push it, 4. Oh, huh. I'm going to help you all out some.
Oh, you got a serving?
There you go. You can just do a bigger heap.
Wow, Reg.
Do you have a card?
Wow.
I don't have cards on me.
Oh, man.
But
The zest.
YouTube and
The orange zest made it.
yep, so my business is
I mean,
Miller
it's
Cuisine.
I'm sorry?
Miller Cuisine.
Miller Cuisine, yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you go on the page, he have it on there. Here you go. What is burning? That's what I'm smelling. I thought I was burning something.
You didn't burn
thank you guys. We enjoyed that. And,
You didn't burn
Appreciate
we
it.
got some Kobe at home right now. We're gonna go
Oh,
tonight.
awesome.
Thank you, Reggie.
No problem. Is this yours?
That was Ashley. She's gone. If you need to drink it, you can drink it. I'll get her another one of mine. Let's go ahead and say goodbye to everyone on the live stream.
All right.
Thanks again, Reggie, for hanging out with us.
See you in a few minutes, pretty much.
Yeah, we got to reset. 'Cause, What are we doing? Crab next?
Yep. Crab
All right.
cakes.
So we'll see you in a few minutes, everyone. Stay tuned. Don't go nowhere.
I think I'm about to take me about